Hi there everyone, it's Gloria Kramer from Oakville, Canada. Today we are going to make this double V-fold card. I don't know if you can see it. This is part of my April 4th online kit class, and you can find all my classes on meetup.com under Oakville Creative Escapes. So my kits come with everything pre-scored for you, pre-cut if I pre-cut and die cut, dry embossed. The only thing it doesn't come with is the stamped images as per Stampin' Up policy. So I am a demonstrator with Stampin' Up. So let's get started on this double V-fold card. It's actually really simple, but it does look really cool as well. Okay, so I do, if you haven't been with me before, I do have two dogs. Sometimes they bark, sometimes they don't, and sometimes we're actually able to make it through a video without them making a single sound, but rarely. Okay, so this is the stamp. We're gonna stamp the front of the card. If you don't own the stamp but you want to make this card anyways, and you have my kit but do not have the stamp set, you can still do that. You can emboss this piece, or you can stamp some other background stamp on it. It really, your possibilities are endless. Whoops, there goes my ring light. I don't think we really need it today anyways. Okay, so I'm going to ink up this piece here using my crumb cake ink. And I'm going to ink up the whole thing. And if you hear moans and groans in the background, that's my dog. Sometimes they like to make these weird noises. Okay, so I'm just going to drop this down onto my stamp, and I'm going to press. And you can do it the traditional way as well. I just find I get a nice nice image that is evenly stamped when I do it this way. So this is why I do it this way. But you can do it any way you want. Okay, now we're going to lift that up. And there's our background. Okay, so we're going to put that aside. So that was with, I stamped it with crumb cake, and this is a crumb cake cardstock as well. Our next step is going to be to add the ribbon, and I like using tear tape for the ribbon, except I'm going to tie, this is baker's twine, and I'm going to take this baker's twine and I'm going to tie a bow in this ribbon right in the middle. And with the kit, you have a really long piece of twine, because I know sometimes it's a little difficult to tie a bow. If you want to cheat, you can always tie a bow and then stick it right on top of the ribbon afterwards. But this is how we're going to do it here. So I've tied my bow. I'm going to put tear tape on this piece of ribbon, on the back of the ribbon. My husband works from home. He's been at home for a year since COVID started. So if you hear noises in the background, that's my husband working from home. There we have our tape on. You peel the backing off. I'm going to trim off the ends to my twine after I put this down. I'm going to line it up and just, of course I hear an emergency vehicle outside as well. And then I'm just going to wrap the ends around like cardstock. You can always trim it off. I just find it gives a cleaner edge. I'm going to trim this off. And if you're wondering why I have the scissor charm on my scissors, it's because I'm always losing my scissors and I'm always like looking for them and never know where they are. So with this big thing on the end, I now know where it is all the time. So I'm going to take my triple banner punch and I'm just going to punch this like that. If you don't have this punch at home, you can just sort of cut it in the middle and then towards the middle. And I'm using our old adhesive because I have a lot of it left over from when I used to do classes at home. So I'm going to use this up. And this tiny little butterfly I'm going to pop up with a dimensional. And then there's this tiny little heart as well, and I'm going to pop this up with a dimensional as well. Now for my card, I'm not going to add my sentiment yet. I'm not going to add this because I don't know who I'm going to give it for and what I'm going to need it for. So I'm just going to leave it for now blank. For you, you'll have the circle, the stitched circle, and you can add your sentiment. The ink I used was crumb cake. You can also use black. And then for our large butterfly, we're going to add dimensionals on the back here. And then I also used my Wink of Stella on my sample card. I don't know if you can see it, but you can sort of see some glimmer to it. So I used my Wink of Stella on that butterfly there. So let's put this one on here. And then this is ready to be glued down onto our card base like that. Okay, our next step. So we have this sheet for the inside. So what I did here is I measured 1 inch from the middle and then 1 inch from the edge to here. And then I scored it to make a V. And then for this side here, it's 1 inch, 1 inch, and then 2 inches up for the larger V. And then you score it. And then once you score it, it really does just sort of fold in on itself. So it makes it really easy. The next step you would do is you're going to stamp your sentiment on the inside before you add your butterflies. Again, I'm not going to stamp my sentiments because I don't know what I'm going to be using this card for. But I'm gonna add my butterflies. So I just use my Tombow glue for my butterflies. And you can like just put those down anywhere really. I think this would make a great Mother's Day card or a birthday card for somebody special. And then for these butterflies that pop up, you're just going to make sure that when it's closed, it doesn't stick out. So I'm just going to put a little tiny bit right there on the bottom, and that's really all you need because this glue is really strong, so this butterfly is not going anywhere. And then the same goes for the one on top. A little bit on the corner there, and maybe up there. And we're going to glue that down. My dogs look like they might start barking, so you might need to press mute. Okay, so this piece is all done. And how we're going to stick it into our card base is I like to keep it folded like this. And I'm going to put adhesive on one side, and I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to turn it around, put adhesive on the other side. So when I do this, I'm going to make sure I have it really centered, like to the edges, so that you have about 1/8 of an inch all around. Again, it doesn't have to be exact, but I'm just going to oops. Okay, so I'm going to lay this so that all my edges are pretty equal. And now I'm just going to fold this card in like that. Now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to put my adhesive down. And I'm just going to close my card. And there we go. And now the last part is to add this to our front. Now with the butterfly bouquet bundle, it makes cutting out these butterflies so easy because the butterflies are actually just from the DSP, the butterfly, is it called Bayou? So the die actually fits right on top of the DSP, and you cut all the butterflies out all at once. Super cool. Okay, so there's my finished card. Again, I don't have my sentiment because I'm just going to leave it blank until I know what I'm going to use it for. And there's our double V pop-up. So thanks again for joining me. Stay tuned. I will have, there are three more cards to this series for this kit. I'll just show you quickly what they are. So there's this card here. I call it a panel card. I don't know what it's called really, but it stands up like a 4-piece panel. And then we have this pop and flip card. That's kind of neat. And then we have this this card that folds flat, and then it pops up and it sits there like this once you're done. So those are going to be our next projects. So stay tuned and have an awesome day.